Hey, this is GatorX, and we got a brand new trailer for the Pokemon movie Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. This came out later in the day because it premiered on a Japanese television show, which, a lot of people were live streaming their reactions to and discussions. Unfortunately, I was at work at the time, so I couldn't talk about it much. There's not a whole lot to say. Again, the main thing is that this movie is Mewtwo Strikes Back redone in a 3D animated style, but let's go ahead and have a chat about it. So yet again with this trailer, I'm not entirely sure how much I could and should show, but we do get to see some cool things. We get to see Mewtwo descending down. There's some voiceover which I don't exactly understand. We get to see more of the, we get to see the trainers again, Ash Ketchum right here. And again, this is where some of the complaints are coming from. A lot of the complaints though are from people here in the US, obviously. I'm not very attuned to Japanese Twitter, so I don't know what they think about this, but I think that is definitely that it's almost exclusively a Western kind of thing here in complaining about this. Because, for one thing, right? The test or the idea that a lot of people have of 3D animation is, Disney and Pixar and oh yeah, whoa, and then they see this and it looks different, definitely. I'll say I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think definitely the eyes are shaped a little oddly in terms of they're very oval and they're long ways up, right? I think maybe they could have been a little more circular. I understand why they did this. It's kind of to look a little more like the anime, or at least the older style of the Pokemon anime. But coming into 3D, it's definitely different. It's hard to adapt this into 3D. I think all the Pokemon are looking great in this movie. Pikachu looks a little funky in this screenshot, but from all the other images we've seen in this movie, I think the Pokemon look great. I mentioned when we first got to see Mewtwo, like the first look of Mewtwo, it looked amazing. Just especially him flying around. All the humans though, and it's something I mentioned in the last breakdown of this movie is that the humans looked different, and it was going to take a little bit of getting used to, but I think that people outright, violently hating the look of this movie, or at least, just making memes, it's a little, not unhealthy, and it's definitely different. A lot of people were ragging on the Dragon Quest movie when the first trailer for that came out, because there's going to be a 3D animated movie based off of Dragon Quest, and, people were ragging on that, and I don't know. You're gonna be ragging on. You say Japanese studios can't make 3D animated movies, right? I don't know. That seems biased. But anyway, Mewtwo looks good here. Again, like I said, me personally, with the humans, it's different, and it's gonna take a little getting. Like I said, with the humans, it's gonna take a little bit of getting used to. It's different. We get to see Mew here. Mew looks neat. Well, I don't know. Mew's head just looks giant. Looks a little more similar to like the original sprite for it back, in like a green version. Team Rocket's here, which, hang on, I'm in the way, so you can't exactly see James, but Team Rocket looks really good. Again, Team Rocket being a little more, what's the word, expressive or animated, I guess, because, they're goofy characters, so their eyes are just like that, and I think they look good. But again, a lot of the complaints are with, Ash and Misty, and, no one's complaining about Brock's eyes because, well, can't exactly see much of them. Get some neat little details here. Again, like I said, there's voiceover, there's dramatic voiceover and dramatic music throughout this whole trailer that I can't exactly understand, but it's not necessarily going to be saying anything too revolutionary. Now, one thing about this movie, right, for one thing is that it's an adaptation, or it's basically just a remake of Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back. And, here in the US, of course, we're going to have a different dub. Hopefully, the dub is a little more faithful to the Japanese original version. Would be neat, though. I do hope we get that still iconic line that, again, that line wasn't really necessarily in the Japanese version, but it's iconic here, where Mewtwo says, see now, the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It's what one chooses to do with the gift of life that's important. Something like that. But Mewtwo looks cool here. Now, the cool thing is we get to see Mewtwo in his armor at this point. And again, there's the whole, armored Pokemon and the whole armored Pokemon rumors. I don't think those are very substantial. Again, Armored Mewtwo is a thing in the movies, and especially with this movie coming out that's redoing it, obviously they're going to have to, I believe I don't know what the details specifically are, but I know Pokemon recently either trademarked the name or the term Armored Mewtwo, but again, it's for this movie. Now, the armor looks crazy, it looks insane. It's a huge step up from the original one, whether they had to change it, who knows, but this looks a lot more menacing, I guess. I think it looks really cool. I think the eyes specifically are kind of neat, rather than just being one long visor that goes across the whole helmet. It looks like it's, two, like, eyes separately. That looks cooler, whether it's, more effective. But then again, Mewtwo's psychic, he doesn't need to see, really. Get to see more Mewtwo, and again, the detailing on him looks really neat. As compared to, like, the Detective Pikachu movie, Mewtwo looks interesting in that one. Again, it's a whole thing of like, the Pokemon look ugly in Detective Pikachu, and the humans look ugly in Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. I get some complaints. I understand some of these complaints. But at the same time, I don't think they look too bad, and I don't know. I can't exactly explain it. That's my problem. I'll say, hey guys, they don't look too bad. Oh, why don't they look too bad? Oh, they just don't. Because, it all comes down to, like, personal taste. From an actual design standpoint, I guess, say with the humans in this movie, maybe the eyes could have been a little more rounder to give a little more of, like, a friendly, cutesy feel, because that's typically what rounder eyes, or bigger, rounder eyes in animation tends to denote. And at least in Detective Pikachu, the Pokemon are still very recognizable in their silhouettes, at least, or in their shapes, as opposed to, maybe, say, like, Sonic. But we haven't seen much of Sonic anyway, so I can't talk about that. Let's see. Again, of Ash. Oh, we get to see some of Hypnotized Nurse Joy there. There's some other cool shots here and there. Let me see. What's something cool to talk about? Pikachu. And again, I think Pikachu looks great in this trailer. All the Pokemon definitely look really good. And we're going to be getting, like, at least a card of the Charizard, too. So that's going to be neat. Pikachu always look cute. I mean, it's kind of hard to make Pikachu look ugly, I guess. Good to see the Gyarados here, which, yeah, that's the Gyarados. Again, another shot with more humans, and, some the talk. I don't know. Misty does look a little odd, just in terms of, how her eyes are done. And again, like I said, I think the eyes are they're meant to look a lot more like the original anime. Here we go. See? Now that a Dawn fan can't do that. So there's the whole speculation. Oh, what Pokemon is Bulbasaur going to be fighting instead of Dawn fan? Or, is this a new Pokemon, this or that? For one thing, it does show that there are going to be some changes. At the very least, just in the aspect. Probably just the beginning battle. Maybe not, the rest of the movie. We're just going to see some different style, I suppose. But this is definitely a plot detail, kind of, if you can consider it that. Because, the battle at the beginning of the movie doesn't serve any real purpose to the rest of the movie. Just kind of an introduction into, Pokemon, into battling, into Ash Ketchum, into the style of the universe, I guess. So, it's interesting. I don't think it's going to be, a brand new Pokemon. Whether they'll include, like, a brand new Pokemon is debatable. For one thing, right, with the Zygarde core, a long time ago, that was first revealed at the end of a movie, of a Pokemon movie that aired in Japan, right? Or not aired, but it showed in theaters in Japan, and it was just like a little preview of, like, the little Zygarde core floating around the screen. There was a little teaser before, it came out in the anime, before it was, officially announced. So that makes sense. And again, Donphan, right? Donphan was a Generation 2 Pokemon, and this movie was all basically Generation 1. So there's the whole speculation of whether this could be used to introduce a new Pokemon into the universe, I guess. A new Generation 8 Pokemon. It's possible, but I kind of doubt it. And, again, like, I guess it kind of goes with my overall thoughts of this movie. And I heard someone refer to this movie as unnecessary. I think that's a little harsh to, come up, like, obviously we can criticize animation, we can criticize art, but sometimes I think there are some words used and some phrases used and attitudes used that are like, not offensive, but kind of invalidate just everybody's hard work. Because again, a movie isn't just put out there. It's created by hundreds and hundreds of people. And, not to, like, get on my whole, like, artist kind of thing. But, I mean, definitely, yeah, it's art, and we can criticize art freely. But at the same time, like, this movie is a remake of the first movie. And the reason I think they did this the way they did is that, they wanted to try this 3D animation style, but maybe they didn't want to try it on a brand new Pokemon movie. Maybe they thought, let's remake an older movie, a very beloved movie, with this style and then see how people react to it, I guess. I was really a fan of, the style of the last two movies, The Power of Us and I Choose You, because, it was still recognizable, but it was still different in a way. It wasn't, a huge step above other Pokemon movies, but it was still kind of nice. But at the same time, I guess I get why, they want to try out something new with this, because, that's basically what Pokemon is, trying out something new. And if you end up doing the same thing over and over again, people complain. I mean, no one's ever going to be happy, and it's mostly a lot of the loud minority that are saying a lot of these things. But I don't know. Overall, I'll be watching this movie if it gets released here in the US, which I'm pretty sure it is. The last two movies did, and definitely are. For one thing, Detective Pikachu is going to be great. That's going to be fun. And this movie, I can't wait to see it later this year, hopefully. But yeah. Overall, I'm kind of lukewarm on this movie, and in fact, the Mewtwo Strikes Back, the original one, isn't even one of my favorite Pokemon movies. Pokemon Forever is my favorite Pokemon movie. So if they remake that in 3D, that'd be interesting. But then again, I don't know. I guess I feel it because Pokemon Forever is my favorite Pokemon movie. If they remake that in this style, I don't know how I'd feel about that. I'd much rather just put on the original, I guess. So I guess that's why people are maybe turned off by this. Although at least Mewtwo's thighs are thick in this version instead of, in Detective Pikachu where they nerfed him. But the point is, let me know what you think of this movie. I think it's interesting. The style is definitely different, and it's going to take some getting used to. And, whether you're open to accept the style or not, it's completely up to you. You can think whatever you want, obviously. Again, a lot of people are thinking the Detective Pikachu Pokemon are ugly, and you're free to think whatever you want. Just people are going to disagree with you. Personally, I'm going to disagree with you on the Detective Pikachu one. On this one, I guess I'll agree with you. I think that maybe there should have been some different approaches taken in terms of the humans. But everything else is looking pretty awesome in this movie. Leave a comment below. We'll continue the discussion down there. It means so much for you guys to check out my other channels. Mostly only one channel, Get Eric's Plays. It's really cool there. This is an old screenshot, but posting gameplay videos there. Got my podcast there, which we're up to episode 5. Episode 6 is going up a week from tomorrow, so that's going to be a real hype. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like, subscribe to show your support. You can enable notifications by clicking the bell icon next to the subscribe button. This will make sure you see each new video as it comes out and will make you a member of the Chingling Squad. Anyway, this has been GatorX. Have a nice day.